New Day new drama in South Africa. According to new reports, King Misuzulu and his second wife go separate ways as she reveals she was fed food like dog. Please like this video as you watch. In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples through South Africa's royal and cultural circles, reports have emerged that King Misuzulu Kazwelithini and his second wife have parted ways amid explosive allegations of emotional neglect and humiliation. The Queen, who was once celebrated as a symbol of grace and unity within the royal family, has now opened up about the dark reality she allegedly endured inside the palace, including claims that she was fed food like a dog. This deeply personal revelation has ignited a nationwide conversation about gender, tradition, and respect within the highest levels of Zulu royalty. The marriage between King Misuzulu and his second wife was initially hailed as a powerful alliance, symbolizing the continuation of royal customs and the strengthening of ancestral heritage. When the couple exchanged vows in a traditional ceremony attended by chiefs, elders, and dignitaries, the event was broadcast across the nation as a moment of unity and pride for the Zulu people. However, what the public saw, the dances, the praise songs, and the radiant smiles, may have masked a growing storm brewing behind the ornate palace walls. According to sources close to the Queen, her royal life quickly shifted from one of privilege to one of pain and silent suffering. She entered the marriage full of hope, said one insider familiar with the royal family. But it didn't take long before she realized that being a queen wasn't about luxury or respect. It was about surviving humiliation and power struggles. In a series of emotional confessions reportedly made to those close to her, the Queen described her time in the royal household as deeply traumatizing. She claimed that her position as the king's second wife made her a target of hostility from certain relatives and aides who allegedly sought to make her life unbearable. "I was made to feel unwanted, like an intruder in my own home," she allegedly said. "There were times I wasn't even allowed to eat with dignity. I was given my food separately, as if I were less than human. I was fed like a dog." These words, now echoed across social media platforms and discussed in community gatherings, have struck a chord with many South Africans. The emotional weight of her statement has turned private palace troubles into a public debate about how women, even those in royal circles, are treated behind closed doors. Despite the public uproar, the royal household has remained completely silent regarding the Queen's allegations. King Misuzulu has yet to issue a formal response, and royal aides have declined to comment, citing respect for private family matters. This silence, however, has only fueled further speculation. Some observers suggest that the king's advisors are struggling to manage the crisis, fearing that any official statement might further tarnish the monarch's reputation at a time when his leadership is already under scrutiny. Others believe the palace's silence may stem from tradition, where personal conflicts within royal households are rarely discussed publicly. But in the modern age of social media and transparency, many argue that such silence only deepens suspicion and damages public trust. The Zulu royal palace, while majestic and symbolic of centuries-old customs, has often been a ground for internal power struggles. Sources close to the royal family say that the Queen's challenges were not only emotional, but also political. As the king's second wife, she reportedly faced resistance from individuals who questioned her authority and sought to limit her influence in royal matters. She was constantly undermined, claimed a palace insider. Even small things, like where she could sit or how she was served, became tools of control. It was all about reminding her that she was beneath others. Cultural experts note that in polygamous royal families, competition among wives and their supporters can sometimes turn intense, especially when issues of inheritance, influence, and respect come into play. However, they also stress that traditional Zulu culture, at its core, emphasizes dignity, respect, and compassion. True Zulu tradition honors women, explained cultural historian Mthitho Kazwayo. If the Queen's claims are accurate, then those actions do not reflect our culture. They reflect abuse of power under the disguise of tradition. The Queen's revelations have sparked an outpouring of support across South Africa. Many women have come forward online to share messages of solidarity, praising her for breaking the silence around what often happens behind the gates of power. "No woman deserves to be treated this way, not even in the name of culture," wrote one commenter on Facebook. Another added, Royalty should not mean suffering in silence. It should mean dignity, protection, and leadership. Several women's rights organizations have reportedly reached out to offer the Queen counseling and legal support, emphasizing that her case sheds light on the broader issue of emotional and psychological abuse in high-status marriages. For King Misuzulu, the scandal comes at a particularly sensitive time. Since assuming the throne following the passing of his father, King Goodwill Zwelithini, Misuzulu has faced numerous challenges, including internal disputes over succession, controversies regarding financial transparency, and accusations of favoritism within the royal council. Now, with his marriage collapsing under such painful allegations, critics say his credibility as a unifying figure may be at risk. Leadership is not just about power, it's about example, said royal analyst Sifo Makais. If the public begins to associate the king's household with scandal and mistreatment, it could erode the respect the monarchy commands among the Zulu people. Some royal elders have reportedly called for a private reconciliation meeting. Those sources close to the Queen insist that she has no intention of returning to a life where she was treated worse than a servant. Beyond the palace drama, this controversy has opened a broader national conversation about how women are treated within traditional institutions. South Africa, while proud of its cultural heritage, continues to wrestle with how to balance respect for tradition with modern values of equality and human rights. The Queen's ordeal, for many, symbolizes the struggle faced by countless women who are silenced by cultural expectations to endure quietly. Her courage to speak out, some say, could mark the beginning of a new era, where even royal women can demand dignity without being accused of defying culture. Culture should never be used to justify cruelty, said activist Thulin Ndlovu during a radio discussion. The Queen's voice represents every woman who has been forced to smile in public while breaking inside. As she rebuilds her life away from the palace, the Queen's story has become one of strength rather than shame. Friends close to her describe her as resilient and determined to reclaim her peace. She is reportedly focusing on personal healing, spiritual growth, and community outreach, finding purpose in helping other women who have experienced emotional abuse. She might have lost her royal title, said one family member, but she has gained something far more powerful: her voice and her freedom.